Hello, and welcome to the final part of this costing series. On a Friday, we talk about mindset, we talk about habits, we talk about behaviors, we talk about showing up for your future self. And this is the work that can change things, truly. It's all of it. It's all of the stuff. It's essentially the energy, the feeling, the connection, the getting to know yourself. It's the equivalent of building a strategy or dating somebody that looks good on paper, but there's no connection, there's no feeling. And this is the work that we need to do with your strategy, your goals, your future self, where you're going next in your business, is there has to be that connection between what is making sense in terms of the numbers on paper, but also you got to be feeling it. And I am a big believer in that. And there may be some people in life who are like, I don't need to feel anything in my business. I can do this point and press, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to consider it, and I just do the thing. For me and for most other people, I know, I guess I could play that sort of like, I'm just going to go along like a robot, but that's going to be short-lived. Ultimately, I'm going to get to that stage where I'm like, yeah, this is not working for me. We can convince ourselves otherwise, but generally that will be the case. And I also work on the basis that if I feel connected to my business, if it feels really good, I'm going to do even better work. And that's why for the last 25 years, I've really stayed true to what I love doing. And believe me, there have been times, hard months, hard quarters, hard years, where I've tried on many different other careers in my head. And I've never taken any of them up because I know ultimately, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is what I love to do. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the cost, where you're going next, the expansion in terms of your mindset. I would love you to think about a time in the future that you would like to define as like your best self, your future self. And I want you to get really clear about what that version of you is. Who they are, how they're operating, how they're dressing, how they're moving, how they're shaking, what money they have in their bank, how many people are they helping, what's the impact, how do they start a conversation, how do they leave a room, and what do people say when they do that, like, oh, she was incredible, who is that? I want you to write a list of who this person is, almost who, like an avatar version of you. And this isn't like, again, a 0 to 100 moment where you are nothing and you're 0 and this future self version of yourself is 100. That is not the case for many of us. You know, there might be that rock bottom moment in a celebrity autobiography or biography, but generally it's about amplifying where we are right now, or being that version of us most of the time, rather than occasionally. So I want you to write that list of who that future version of yourself is. Get really clear about all of that. And senses are really good for this kind of work. You know, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you tasting? How are you operating? And I want you to spend some time there and really become clear, really turn up that brightness so you're very, very familiar about that future image. And then work out where you can begin to start that path as that person more often. And this might be as simple as clearing your inbox every night, or it might be getting to places 2 minutes early. So the first thing that you say to people isn't oh my gosh, sorry, I'm late. So you're there early and you've got that cool, calm, collected energy. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's the version of you. I want you to begin to see those strands that you can bring forward and bring them onto your priority list. Add them to your to-do list. So you are not just thinking this future self version of you is like some kind of floaty cloud in the distance. You are bringing them in and you are building a relationship with them. I also want you to think about the daily habits that you have as that future version of yourself. And I always get a little bit perturbed when I see, perturbed, that's such a strange word, perturbed when I see the 3-hour morning routines. Now, I am an early riser. I have no issue with getting up early. That's when my body's like, hi, what we doing? What's going on? Anything after 8:30? No. Anything after 8:30 with wine? Expect no sense from me. I'm much better as a kind of Saturday lunchtime drinker, in case you're asking. You're not, probably. But anyway, mornings, no problem for me. But my children get up about 6:30. So if I am fitting in that morning routine, I've got to be up at 3:30. Now, 3:30 is just bananas. So I will not be doing that. But also, I think all of these things that we're adding to the list just after a while become a chore, become a challenge, become something that we have to do, that we're always behind on. And what I would rather you do is instead just pick a couple of things. Pick these 5-minute activities that really change the game for you. I mentioned earlier in the week, I did this running challenge at the end of 2023. And I took it into about August of 2024. I ran for 250 days in a row. And it was 15 minutes, but it changed everything. It changed my head, changed my body. It changed my idea machine in my head, aka my brain. But it really had a huge impact. And you wouldn't think that 15 minutes could do that much, but it really, really did. Next, I want you to notice your thoughts. And you're going to have many, many thoughts. And to go, right, I've got a thought and write them down, is some kind of, I think it will make you feel a little bit insane. Am I watching this? Am I in it? Am I present? What's going on? But I just want you to draw attention to what you're thinking and what you're saying. And I've spoken about this before. I went through a stage, my children didn't sleep for about 7 years. And I went through a stage of just telling everybody how tired I was. And that was so boring for them and so boring for me, actually, after a while. And I was so defined and riddled by the lack of sleep. And it got to the stage where I had to literally cut it off. Right, I'm not talking about it anymore. And eventually, they did sleep through the night, and that's chapter hopefully is closed until they become teenagers and go out and about. But it was really interesting for me of how that thought governed everything, how I felt like I was showing up to a meeting, how I was starting my day. I'm so tired. So I literally felt like I had to scoop myself up just to get to a neutral position. I want you to be very aware of your thoughts and what's happening and what is going on, so you can give yourself the opportunity to change them. Because that might need to be the case to get out of your own way, essentially. Number 4, I want you to think about what are the changes that are going to move the needle and that are pertinent. I think this is the thing that many of us can get really busy doing busy things. And whenever people say, hi, oh my gosh, hi, I'm so busy, those ones who greet you in the street, I would never be so rude, but I sort of want to say, doing what? What are you busy doing? And sometimes they're busy doing nothing. They're busy chatting, doing things, not having awareness. And sometimes we need to step back and ask ourselves, right, What are the things that are going to move me forward? Like if you were getting in a car, it doesn't matter how neat and tidy it is on the inside. If your car doesn't have petrol in or is not charged up, it's not going to move. Unless you get in the driver's seat, it's not going to move. Unless you have a willingness to keep going and to preempty the fact that you might want some snacks along the way, it's not going to move forward. We have to be really deliberate and discerning about the action that we're taking. Otherwise, we can just get busy behind the scenes, and we know ultimately that's not going to get us where we want to get to. Finally, I want you to put your goals where you can see them. And I want you to build a very intense relationship with them. You know, when you first start dating somebody and it's like, what am I going to wear? I'm thinking about them the whole time. Have I messaged? No, I'm going to wait. Oh, they've messaged. What are we going to do on our next date? This is fantastic. You want to tell everybody about it. And of course, you can navigate this with your own boundaries. And if you want to keep your goals absolutely private, then do so. But what I'm saying is, don't just write them down and shove them in a drawer. That is so easy to do. People go, January the 1st, tick, done my vision board, tick, written my goal list, tick. And then they put it in a drawer and they forget about it. And then they might wake up in the middle of March and go, oh yeah, I was going to do that this year. And then I forgot about it. When I was moving house in March 2022, I found a goal list from January 2013. So yeah, like 9 years later. Had I looked at that? No, I had not. I mean, there were others that I had looked at since, but I looked at it and I thought, oh, how strange. How strange that I've written all of these things and have no recollection of writing it or doing anything about it. How strange. So I would love to know from you, how has this week been? What are you going to do? What are you going to take away? Where do you need to step things up? Where do you need to pull back and release? What are the moves that you need to make? We are here as accountability pals to help and support you. So let me know, and I will be back next Monday with a brand new video. And yeah, keep sharing, keep posting. Let me know what you do. Let me know what you need help with. Add the tag of Ask Me a Question if there's something you want to talk about. I'd love to know it all. Lots of love and thanks for watching. Bye.